You are awesome, High Priestess the Pure. Number one, the information for the proletariat, January 20th, I 38. So here we go. Um, Abject poverty, dehumanization, the exploitation of all of us, and we submit. Compassion, the exploration of all of us. Compassion is neutralized. People must become hardened, discompassionate, just to preserve their own version of personal sanity, loss of sanity, when you cannot believe your own eyes. We each think separately, we are being ourselves, yet when we go off, we are really doing the same thing. Such diversity on entertainment, each show, program, or presentation subscribing to or creating a cultural implement, dividing each remaining household to the necessity of each person to be conflicted with self and or others in opinion, debate, or apathy to environment. Dehumanized from any standard we have had in the past. It has no other option other than the throw to take you to the horror show. And what are we left to do? Take the ticket and ride the ride. We have been trained to leave our fate to others, and what are you going to do? At one time, life was considered to be sacred, and it's clear we no longer feel that way. Rampant dialectic technique, clever inversion, backwards reality. It's bright in here. Socialism, a world run by experts. They think for you, public figures paid and appointed. Today I posted a reel on Instagram and it automatically bleeped any swear words I had used. Talking about these things, writing about these things, the information I look through to go get all of this. What is this information really? Why is it available? Very few, if any, of these ideas and topics discussed here I have not theorized myself, created, but I find I am passionate about going through the information, writing it down, then reproducing it again and presenting it myself as to immerse myself in it. Well, what is this? Life, culture? Intelligence agency, propaganda, media, information, data. All media is basically an extension of the government. All information and data is relevant data mining to create an image of self and other environment, social climate. The elimination of thinking for yourself, the authorized version of the story, and disinformation. We are enveloped in tactics of total war, and we are waiting for the news. North, east, west, south. That war has been declared on the general public, and world religions are recruiting troops. The Christian Reich. Clearly, problem instant experts provided, and propaganda experts lead into the socialistic government that we already have. The psychopathic ruling class, as some have stated, spraying the skies more than ever with operations well underway. It is not to block out the sun or to destroy green life, to drug and poison men, women, children, civilian. We don't really know. I mentioned this to create a scene that could necessitate the type of villains, leaders we are dealing with here. Warfare tactics, but why? Is this a class war to eliminate the useless eaters from a post-industrial culture where robots are valued over humans for what they could do or provide? You know, what else? Why else? The Royal Institute of Affairs. Truth is the first casualty of war. The Greeks found that if a process of deception works once, it will always work through specific sequencing formulas with instructions as to how to successfully present these methodical formulas of control. Mostly dualistic problem reaction solution and Hegelian dialectic. I must take a moment to reflect. Look at what I have thought even just a week ago. Had I not tried to collect this information, I would not know the patterns that play out. I observe through expressions as I look back in my own notes, the original inspirations remain. The most complete in form, and the decimation followed, little bits and pieces as a follow-up to the original idea. It seems we all have a horrible memory when it comes to certain concepts, as the words to express these thoughts and feelings vanish. The war on data. Well, it seems also whenever these things, like the war on drugs, are implemented and underway, it's us that get the drugs dumped on and into our culture. Really cute to notice. Currently, I'm not pretending to be a sane person. My primary income has been Social Security supplemental income for many years, but currently it's not my primary income. But back to the war on data and our horrible memory. Even now, the thought of what I'm trying to express it becomes so clear, the image of the concept and the words as a method of how I will express these concepts. As I express them onto paper, I have to put it into words, but it helps me to see the original idea as it pops up again. And I am all the quicker to have the feeling to snap to and grab my pen. That's it, the feeling. Then I examine and hold the feeling and find the concept to express. And the words. And then I see patterns of repetition within the notes. In between the words. It's like art. Not just my words I'm talking about. Of course, I notice these things through the words of others, and then every way to force myself into another avenue of creativity. To creatively find another way to go through them, then I know better of these patterns and sequences. What I'm looking for, and how to find the original idea again. The next time I listen, the end is the beginning, the end is the start. So, I'll share the rest of this information, but it's not written in any linear sense, or was not. It may be nonsensical, but each bit adds up to accumulative knowledge. As you see the data you research active in your boots on the ground activity, versatility and continued relevance leads into synchronicity. Persistence, a refined moral code, and integrity will lead into wisdom and conceptual overstanding. The idea and its expression. The desire for constant new knowledge must, I balance with historic research to relative perspective establishment in your continuous now moment. It is through examining yourself that the gnosis of information occurs, to break the information through to yourself on a personal level, meaning much more than what had originally met the eye. 0434 AM, currently Alaskan Northern Pacific here, coming at you from Anchorage, Alaska. This is Kenneth W. The process is not completed in a group or social format. It is complemented. Gnosis of information is completed within the self. That's why and how you can keep yourself in check. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know yourself and have a value system of your own moral code, or what you believe would be a good person to do, or what you place yourself as to be a good person, or it doesn't matter. What about the people that I idolize? Doesn't matter. And they seem successful, and I want that. They seem powerful, I also want that. Well, the value system aligned with the exploitation of others, the chances of survival within a corrupt system are things that immediately have relevance. Just to slap up a cheap sign, just slap up a cheap sign and sell something to somebody. The value of art as a beauty within practical application. Art is beautiful and monetization of every moment. Sex as a business interaction, trade and barter of non-essential mindless self-indulgences that come at a cost to you, designed to erode you from the inside out. We grow from the inside out. Who tells us what's right and wrong? What is success? And this is done to us through war tactics on our moral code, our moral compass, and our morale. Take a break, posture check. Just slap up a cheap sign and sell something to somebody. Don't even blink, I guess. What is it that you want to know? The predictability of a society, the predictability of self, the predictability of nature and phenomena. Is that what you're getting at ultimately? And what would you do with this information? Success, control, just to get it? Just to get by? Do we use it to go forwards or backwards? To hide or to charge? Offense and advance. Where is the beginning and what do you want? All possible projected calamities. What does it mean to prostitute your values for something you do not need? Once you realize you are only addicted to an idea, the necessity to create the means of its physical world exploitation falls away. Healthy people don't need medicine. If we stop mimicking the behaviors of those who are selling you the ideas, the emulation of drug dealers, violent, ruthless people, their power, if not only given to people their power, if not only given to them to present as an idea, roots and choice and willingness, emulate that. But choices are so laborious. Collecting data, always learning, never knowing. No practical means for practical application of data. Lack of opportunity, the brick wall across the road to knowledge. Sexual interaction with no happy ending. Crumpled up paper. Frustration, anxiety, anticipation. That's where the mysterious mystique is applied. That's good marketing and the necessity of a good product. So the whole mystique, and mysterious appeal is really just incomplete data, because it's always an appetite for more, leaving you there knowing just a little bit enough to know there's something there, and then it moves back because it's being revealed to you like a TV series. It is. It is. And that's crap because sometimes these things matter. And then the method of presentation is really up to those who are presenting it, and not the actual people, but it's a production, so it just depends on what level they decide to take the approach to present, because there's much to be presented to those who have been paying attention. It's a good ass product. You need that, right? So and then into this, continued geophysical events, they stir us all to the core. Solar cycle 25, Earth and solar electromagnetic configuration. Aluminum particulate in the upper atmosphere by design. Solar weather, 14 miles above, supposedly. Cities, question mark? Research bases, whatever you want to call it. It's not the same thing as being in a gravitational rotation because of leaving the atmosphere. They have devices that were available for public knowledge consumption. It's very dry and boring, but it's published. H.A.A and W.H.A.M.Y dash high atmosphere devices. The Sun and the Pimping of Fear. Ultimate pimp. And that's why it's so hard to get a sense of self when you can't plan anything about your life, where you might sleep, so you could be rested to go to work, or to be in a good mood, to be around the people that you're socially involved with. Fear and fear for your life, of course. That's a good one. So that's great. Fear for your life. Every week now, it's something new to inspire the fear of death. Now that we are all separated into our own corner with our phones and all of our cool, helpful stuff, feeling safe in all of our rental units and our hotel rooms and our state-funded forms of survival and sanity for the property owners, needless to say, of the concerns in that very situation become the same relevant perspective as a renter when insurance is unavailable. Helpful stuff, really helpful stuff, with our phones and all of our cool, helpful stuff. Feeling super safe. My rental unit costs $1,400 American a month, and this does include electric. I haven't measured the cubic footage, but I'm really not concerned because what it provides for my mental stability is without parallel to spatial measurements. State-funded forms of survival and sanity. Some of these are pretty good. I guess I could say I came up with it. I did write it down. Very, very little did I don't think I really directly quoted anything because I was trying to remember it. Pretty good. Yeah, I didn't really directly listen to anything on these blue ink note papers. Nothing needs quotes. Or it is quoted, which I haven't needed to quote. Um, Helpful stuff to know. Feeling safe in your rental unit. Cute. Nice moves. I have a dental implant and metal in my head. And it's been buzzing for like 3 or 4 days now. It tastes like metal, like change. You when you put change in your mouth. So there's that. January 21st today, 2025. Interest, investment, awareness, and attention. The currency of spirit, the flow of care. Awareness. Fake world research. What's up with this certain voice? Like, I'm not like saying anything about choices here. I'm just pointing out that this weather pattern is very unusual, and it's got this demonish, impish vibe to it, and it's like I hear it over top of another voice and the voice. Like, yeah, it's another tone in a voice. I'm not exactly sure. Implications aside, like the weatherman in his super fancy fit suit for experts with that weird voice that reoccurs in different individuals over and over and over and over and over wherever I go. I see it, and then it's on the TV too, and I'm like, what the fuck is really going on with that? Excuse my language. Major business bankruptcy and over and over and over. More like corporate cash out, clearly. Like, come on. If somebody usually has a good friend, if they're gambling heavy and winning, that cares about them and wants to eat dinner with them afterwards. A victory dinner, of course, to celebrate. That I was good luck for you. And tells them, let's go. It's time to cash out and go, bud. Let's go. You got your smokes in the car. You can get your smokes, you know. Don't you want to get back to the house and, you know, your shoes look wet, hot, or something. Let's go. You know what I mean? Corporate cash out. If you have that friend, which I'm sure some people do, some people don't need that. No, they do. Everybody needs something. That's the good thing about why we're all here, because if we didn't need anything from each other, it would just be like everyday normal life when I walk out the door. What? That's pretty true though. Every day when I walk out the door, that seems to be the general attitude of all social interaction. Is I don't really need anything from you. So F you, or have a nice day, whatever way you want it. Gotta be quick. This is New York, but it's not New York now. I've crossed and now I'm here in the North Pacific West, and it's pretty cool. It's working for now. It's all right. The weather is actually extremely moderate, and its current state been about 30 degrees with no wind for a good period of time. By design, I'm sure we're all sick of hearing that phrase, but when you live inside a construct, a well-designed machine created to perform a service or produce a product, we are all the product that supports business. Thinking it's business that serves us, but really it devours us every day. Just saying, it took me a week last week to write 10 pages, and this is the 10th page in mostly small script that I've written since 4 a.m. It's like 7:30 a.m. now. Actors, musicians, writers, corporation, public, private, technology, technocracy, data war, fascism, clear sorrow. How I had a cop tell me there is no music or dancing at the airport. Oh yeah, because I was dancing and pumped to be in Fairbanks, Alaska. And I was like, yeah, Bluetooth speaker. And very, very promptly, I was informed, I wouldn't say rudely, but I would say strictly, that there was no dancing or music in front of the airport. It's an extension of a government facility by a man who identified himself as a police officer with a car and a friend. They were big men when they wanted my ID, and they made me stand there and wait. I told them I'm working right now. I'm literally just working. I got off a work flight with a group, and I'm the last one in a carpool, and I'm just going to a hotel immediately with no stops in between. The car is supposed to arrive 5 minutes ago, and I'm sure it's just because they're dealing with people who are unloading and unloading. And they said if I was still there when they got back, they were going to have to take action. Whatever that meant, I know, I'm aware of what that means as a traveler. So, I mean, I stood there anyways, obviously, and waited for my ride, got in a car, and went there. But just lets you know, strictly, how things, policies, are in place. Policies were not published in the town square. Implemented is different than, like, you know, I'm not sure how to express that right now. I'm not trying to keep these papers organized anymore as I flip through them. I still have some papers that were the original notes from before I went to Fairbanks. I think that they're in some type of order, maybe, I don't know yet. As the airport, back to that for a second, think of it as an extension of a government facility in Fairbanks, Alaska. Scientists, grocery stores, news, entertainment, education, transportation especially, and all an extension of governmental activity. I've been informed. We've been informed. I'm just passing along some analytics of some data I've been presented with. I'm not theorizing any of these concepts specifically to formulate a reaction or as a point of origin for any specific ideas. I am merely analyzing and assessing them as through my own perspectives and relative perspectives of others. Others that I include myself with in thought groups of similarity. Occasionally. Cultural criminals. Crimes against humanity pardoned yesterday. What a great governmental character lineup they have this year as the years previous. I've seen college kids admiring every aspect of this Musk character, who is a character, real person who cares. Everybody's something, sometimes, every few years another orb needs to come down to the Cyclopean Great Wall, Dome on Rock, get good publicity, then take off. We need another spike in idiot religious faith, flash the light, and turn on the loose sucker. Again, Biden, amazing tool, character. You can have an excuse to do literally anything for years and then just come up with a dementia, Alzheimer perspective from he didn't know, he didn't understand, or being held accountable for things you don't remember. You have no clue at the level of implication. This is a card that can be pulled for years. So genius. It's really is amazing. Really just really creative. Really amazing. And at the commercial and common level, we're talking about the blame game, homelessness, women as a destructive force, and freedom in social media as if that was ever a thing. Being allowed to do something permitted and doing something through freedom are two separately entirely different things. Free within a construct to do what you are designed or allowed to do, yet free thoughts are smoked. Where do thoughts and ideas broadcast from? The value of smoking spliffs to any chance of knowing yourself. Does it matter why? Data would say it's true. Folder 2. Arrive. Alright. Go folder 2. Okay. Let's do that for now. You ever fluff your I don't have my candle turned on right now. It's one you can light, obviously. Well, it's not obvious, but... Alright. Tell us story. It's not turned on right now. Oh, look at that. Okay, take a break. Take a stretch for a second. Yeah, I'd love to get a better camera angle. Maybe I'll stand for this one, because sitting on my it's a tall desk. It's actually a chopping block. I'm gonna stand for a few. This is a nice large paper, legal paper. I get my paper from the Bishop's Attic over here down the street. It's good stuff. Okay, so I'm not telling you anything, okay? I'm just saying stuff. This is from Monday, January 6, 2024. Anchorage, Alaska. You know you're becoming the you want to be. One of the most basic principles of spirituality is being sovereign, or ownership of self. Pragmatists and utopians, realizing that most of your feelings, your free thought, is actually designed. Destinations for you to arrive at. You would really be surprised when you take notice that your thoughts at this point are basically storyboarded for you, and even if you know there's, currently not much to be done about it. We truly have to do big, deep within ourselves, dig deep within ourselves, to draw forth any truly or original thought or idea. If that's even still possible, I'm not sure. Just leave it at that for now. Moral relativism and objective standard of right and wrong. Morality framework. Mortals. What is morality? What is mortality? The wolf god Sankor, Fenris and Ragnarok. Anchorage Mushing District. Nazism. Order of the Midnight Sun. Black Flame. God is the perception of one's own mind. What is really up with this Pleiadian star seed shit? I noticed expansion of my awareness. Thoughts that are implanted in your mind. Well, I'm not so sure that my own thoughts are my own. The overall goal is to control individuality. Interesting. Pause. Control. It would still be an implement of a construct, I'm pretty sure. Or yes. None's creating a new construct within a construct. Okay, on pause. Control individuality. It very self. I'm just reading things the way they are. If you have mistakes and errors or debunking issues to be made, pick it up with my manager. It very self. And we are being led by our own senses. There must be a way to intervene in the process, to know my own thoughts from ones provided. But is that even possible at all? Because thought is controlled by language and numbers. Numbers is part of language. Is it? Coding, sequencing, patterns, displays, color, language. Okay, that's pretty, they say we are locked into thought with only that of matter, that our minds cannot even comprehend beyond the material plane. And that's the general conception, but we are not general people. Those in earshot are exceptional. One moment, please. Anchorage, Alaska, 13th and Eagle, 2024. No, that's supposed to be 25. I'll pull out the black pen and make a correction. If my manager is cool with that, we'll check in later. I typically do not make corrections because the overall aspect of the art needs no specific correction and brushstroke once applied, because in later times the method will be appreciated by other artists. Number 3. Then okay, Comet G3 Atlas now flying into the sun, or around, then supposed to come back and fly by. We've been presented images that look like this. It's amazing. So I don't really know. Technocracy, perhaps. More weathermen. Today I have a freaking thing about weathermen. I'm not impressed. The floor, oh geez, this great floor, great fits. But what are you selling me? Because I don't believe it. We've all seen what salesmen look like, and man, oh man, those weathermen. What a great job. Imagine the pickup lines you already just have by default. If we think about Seinfeld for a moment, we can recall occupational humor as religious humor. Like your conversion rates are out of the roof for these jokes we've got here. But you know what I'm saying? Man, weatherman just got made. What's the catch? Just kidding. I kid. Yeah, it survived the sun and it's still visible, blah blah blah. In the Jewish tradition, at night begins the new day. Judaism and Zionism are not the same tradition, or necessarily one being the extreme of the other. March 14th. Vaccine and Trump. March 14th. Why do you think that blue light exposure is limited to screen observation? The screen being supercharged as of late, if we listen to our government, and every other attention drawing, pointing finger at the screen and not at you. There's no answers for you at yourself and your corner. You just get more screen pointing. And what is going on with that? Why can't we just have somebody tell us what the heck we're supposed to do? Okay, what if you did want to follow the rules? What if you did want to just go along with what you're supposed to do? It's basically impossible to figure that out any longer. Because if you even ask them, they'll ignore you. Because you don't know. Like, I don't get it. But I guess that's a good thing for me, or maybe not. Time will tell, and I don't really give a shit. In one way or another. I do and don't. That's the professional answer to everything. Deny, deflect, diffuse, of course. This is a few tactics employed by those who think they are in the know. The truth wants to be known. Ain't that great? Your lack of interest disturbs me. Diego Garcia Island and Pine Gap. Reality is not the most real part of this whole experience. You are. Once we figure out what that really means. But until then, what must be done for now is done here. We have to play attention. I meant to say pay attention, but maybe it is play attention. You have to play attention. Whoa, I think that is a thing. I got a little fireplace over here. It's not on right now, thankfully, because it's stifling in here sometimes. Play attention. It says here, we have to pay attention to and behold ourselves. Would you say it's better to assess the characterization of an entity by its limitations or by its capabilities? Reason and meaning serve a lower form of experience and expression. The reasons and meanings, do they ever really equate to the truth? Or do they merely guide the eye towards beholding the truth? You are higher self now. We are here in mortality to get things done. And it's clear that there is a spiritual adversary who also exists now in opposition to you. Why is that debated? I don't really understand. No, there's not. Excuse me, I have to pay this man. Here you go. Is that enough? What's the debate? This new system, here's my quote, new system, where everybody's a winner is crap. That's when somebody bigger than us stepped in and said, you're all winners because we have a plan for you. Come over here, winners. They walk you across the stage because you win. Wear hats and, oh, they love giving hats out. That's so funny and true. They do. They love giving hats. Here, you get to wear this hat now. That's pretty much a thing, because they're like, dude, when you put on the hat, you have got a whole thing going on. Apparatus. I like that one, though. Would you say it is better to assess the characterization of an entity by its limitations or by its capabilities? I asked the Gemini that. I don't know about the Gemini. I tried and it just jammed up on me, and then it just was like, did the same thing a lot of things do when I talked at it. They go, and I'm like, alright, well, I'm just gonna let, if you could let something have dignity, this might be a moment where you could do that and just don't even ask. Alright, have some dignity. I won't ask where you're going, or did I fuck up, or did you? Are we? Is this good? We're cool. Just don't even say any of that, just do this. I'm very busy. I do have somewhere I gotta be. Does this mean the nature of reality is you? Question mark. The Motorola symbol is really just 2 vector symbols. I love this game. But what? Hide the vector symbol. The pentagram is actually 5 vector symbols. Pretty cool. The standard Windows mouse, a vector symbol. It's great. That vector symbol is going to the, I don't know, something you have to look again. I don't want to. But it does matter the direction of the vector symbol, apparently, if you care to go that far into knowing, because it's relative to the tool of perception through your mind. That's why all these little details add up to cumulative knowledge, which through action becomes wisdom, or non-action, which seems to be the case lately. Not the non-action is the wisdom. In this dualistic, inverted system, where everybody's a winner. At this point, growth is required. We grow from within. January 13th seems to be a very long day, really not the greatest vibes going around. Oh yeah, that was like January 19th and half of the 20th, and then all of a sudden it was just fine, and yesterday it was the same, and then all of a sudden everybody everywhere was outside, and billions of airplanes and helicopters and people. Sunday, us feeling tired, exhausted, overwhelmed, head buzzy, irritable, dry. Bullet point. I can clearly see information constantly being edited, rearranged, removed, so hard to search for anything at all on Google or DuckDuckGo, and even get any type of relevant results. Censorship. Ooh, yeah, bleed on my Instagram. But DuckDuckGo is kind of weird because it keeps wanting me to high-five it and tells me the same things over and over, and that's, why would you design an app to be so annoying if it's going to be any better? Because already that's it. Just leave me alone. Don't ask me to subscribe to stuff. Do not. Okay, I can't even go into. That's something that gets me. It's designed to get us pissed off, but it works. But I'm reprogramming my own self, or, tell me a better word, and to not really react to it in such a way. It's quite frustrating. Oh man. Those who control all information. Shit. Including a simple description of what is going on elsewhere. We can't just have an accurate description of that now, huh? Yeah, but then they post these webcams everywhere now. It's just so funny. And it's like, is that, I don't know. really been seeing a lot of strange or remarkable, at the least, out of the corner of my eye vision lately. My inner voice is not impressed. Huge sunspot has opened up. That's last week. It's over. Like solar weather. It's irrelevant, but it's really just a jack off. Anyways, hot, cold, the stock market. Endless shreds of shit all over the internet. Hard to find anything useful at all. That's why you have to go back in the past. Maybe that's why they're doing that, so you have to. And then what you'll see... people told they cannot even check if their house is burned. Oh my god, what the hell? What in hell? Don't say stay safe. Yeah, don't say stay safe. Not cool. Don't say that. It's not a good goodbye. Stay safe. It is a sure sign of infection of NPC creeping terminology rising up within you. Squelch that. Because it's not sexy. It's not appealing, and it does not portray a character who has any clue what the fuck's really going on. It's more like marketing slogan. What are you gonna do to stay safe? Better buy something. Get some can openers and flashlights and keychains. Lock de-icer. I've lived for 38 years, never needed lock de-icer. Ever. I've had probably 22 cars or something like that. Never de-iced a lock. Because that shit's expensive. But I have used Fix-A-Flat. You know? Fix-A-Flat. I don't have a car right now, so I don't need endorsement. I'm good. But I could use a chauffeur. In the comments. Good stuff. Still everywhere. The most crazy shit I've ever seen. Of course. Policy over personal interest. Wow. This stuff is just beyond what I imagined, and now it's clear, so clear, that there is groups of humans, so-called, who have zero interest at all in helping, saving, or preventing the loss of human life. In California, fire trucks arrive from out of the state and out of country. They are being directed, of course, into the state of, or the city of Sacramento to pay for permits and submit to emission testing. How the fuck are you gonna have emission testing when the whole fucking fake plastic fucking shit's on fire, like? And what does that mean? Just like every airport on the planet getting shut down at the same day, at the same time. Nobody's ever agreed on anything. Can we just say one more thing about that? Men and women globally agreed to shut down every single transit authority on the world for, I don't know how long, but they did it at once in a 124-hour period. Doesn't matter when, it was recently, and the implications there are unparalleled of almost anything. You just have to go back to 15 years ago, 2007, 2009, 2012, 2015, 2016. So much information that was just right there, and it's still just go back and it's the same as it was before, most of it. And if it's there, and okay, maybe it's not the same as it was before, but that's good if you remember. Do you know what I'm getting at here? And then our great studies of all our historical and explorers of the realm. Big fan. What are these topics and subjects? What is this information? Why is it relevant, or why do we care? And where does it come from? On a separate note, perhaps this is a great ritual. I don't like that word, and sometimes when I know this is great, I'm looking back through my notes. Much like the 7-Eleven job application and its smoke screen is a cheater curtain. I don't know what that word is. It's like a D, a T, and a C mixed into an H. So I want to say cheater curtain. I wanted to say cheetah curtain, but cheater curtain. And since they already gave us most of our common references through language and culture that have become memories, they no longer need the location. Oh, we're talking about, yeah, the burning of Hollywood. Need the location. They don't need the location anymore, among many other things, because now they make their grand exit like a theatric. Sorry, that didn't really make exactly that much sense, but the data points are still there. That's what's the great part that I've realized through listening and learning lately. Point break is a term used for work where I get the spacing between grocery store stock shelves, so I hit the decimal point enter. And that's what I was going to refer to as a term when I would go between paragraphs, so I don't have to say bullet or on a separate note or anything like that. But at this point, I really have just managed to bridge the gaps in my notes with my creative, witty, humorous remarks. I kind of like standing better than sitting. Hope the energy from that doesn't disturb you. I don't know why I need to be so condescending in tone for that. Because we should, sometimes our feathers are ruffled, but we need to examine why we need to. If you're cared at all, you might as well not stop at this point. Most of us should bother not stopping at this point, because even like that, yeah. I'm not explaining that one. Assuming these notes, I kept writing 24. Washed most of my light shirts, pants, socks, and underwear in the sink. Hung to dry. Went well. Moral knowledge. Moral accountability is wisdom. Right behavior versus wrong behavior. It is a practical, actively choosing right behavior over, it is a practice actively choosing right behavior over wrong behavior. Convenience charge. That's what you have to pay if you want. Okay. Flickering thoughts, though, it's like, makes sense, doesn't make sense, makes sense, I get it, oh, wait, never added it. Morality, integrity, attention to focus, clarity, self. Discipline, integrity, self-leadership is freedom, or else where do thoughts come from? The new boss looks like the old boss. Self-dependence. I fixed my lamp. I did not like that lamp was not functioning properly. Self-dependence. Organization is a top priority. All forms of organization you partake in, and worse yet, if you don't, is a direct reflection of a state of mind. You will know a person by what they put forth, period. Don't steal and don't kneel. Take responsibility of self or take orders. Your lack of interest disturbs me. The so-called demons play out through your lower desires. Look again, and it's your own submission to weakness. We are not the arbiters of right and wrong. We must learn right and wrong and practice choosing to play out our own advancement. As the caliber of our zest, our soul's will, our spirit The essence of us is pure, clean, crisp, focused attention and awareness. The Christian Reich has taken extremity of its advance by its members, handing their minds over to a collective belief, as have other groups. This is the opposite view of Western Buddhism, which I am not endorsing or suggesting. I'm just mentioning. Where one is to advance their spiritual discoveries of first-hand realization, and experience. Now, I also want to add, I don't know if that's the true perspective of Western Buddhism, but that is the aspirant's objective goal, I would assume, through analyzing the data. Free Barabbas! Free Barabbas! The people cried. Yet, save us, Jesus, they cry now. I refuse to believe, yet I will know, and learn, and grow, and know wisdom. People don't know what to believe. Well, the options are limited. The encroachment, the not milk, the real they them. The real they them. Bifurcation, separate reality. No, we operate on collective karma. We operate. I do. That's when each person truly matters. Spiritual reality. Get your mind right when it comes to morality. Knowing something, then taking action. As to not get stuck in the weeds. Get out of the tall grass! Right-left paradigm. Yes, no, black, white, dualism. The control mechanism and the relevance. Disnullifying you, shut down, no views, irrelevant. Shushed, advanced censorship. Shushing. Thought, action, allegiances. Technocracy. No, that's good though. Thought, action, allegiances. Technocracy. Yeah, I can barely get my phone to operate efficiently on any given day. 90% of the time I'm using it, it will just do stuff. And even occasionally, mid-song, mid-video, or anything, it will update itself and then restart. Well, literally, as I'm writing this, my phone has glitched out heavily and is stuck in the reboot loading screen now. Oh, I do remember that. So as I was saying, techno crazy. Night drones, deregulated drones, executive order. Escape from LA, then Escape from New York. Movies, Snake Plissken, baby. They, them, it. They, them, it. They, them, it. The they, them, it. The they, them, it. Where policy always comes first. That's like the postcard for like when you arrive to town. Oh, welcome to they, them, it. The they, them, it. Because it's the they, them, it. It might be a pronoun. It might be a city name. I don't know. But the they, them, it. Where policy always comes first. Are we, like, in a job site? You're in some kind of site. Can I see some type of paperwork or picture card? All we are is memory. Memories? Question mark? Question mark? I forget. Anyways. Gray state. Gray state. That's a good one. Have you noticed gray state? Have you noticed the competition to who can be the most boring and say the least? As if saying a damn thing would be betraying the true identity of the self to another? No. Take your snacks and scurry back to your rat hole. Doesn't that kind of look like the behaviors? Nesting, rat holing, collecting rats as pets, collecting anything as pets that sleep in bed with you. Dysfunctional. Anything that shits and walks in it and sleeps next to me is dysfunctionality. I'm sorry, but my bedding and my feet do not. I take my shoes off. This is moral code. It is not morally ethical to sleep and shit in the same spot unless you're sick or imprisoned. I mean, we could require at least a couple feet and then some type of, at least mental barrier, like a curtain in between the spaces. And, okay, I'll stop, but dogs and cats sleeping on pillows isn't cute. It's disgusting, technically, if we were being any type of... things have their place. Things don't just get to evolve into equal positioning and even an elevated position. Because now look, robots have rights, animals have rights. What's your rights? Can anybody please tell me what's my rights? To myself, as I say that, I know I have the right to remain silent. I've heard. Funny stuff. Good stuff. New Year, great jokes. That's great state though. Competing to be the most boring, non-reactive. That's what these reactive videos do. It's always like something close to what it is. That's what it's not supposed to be. And what it is isolating reactions on video to now your isolated attention is on reactions in real life. And they either react the way you like or they don't. And what are you gonna do? Swipe yes, because you have nothing I want. That's a proper business interaction. I don't like this and I do not have to stand around, and I'm gonna go across the street and exploit over there, and I'll be back when I need to go to sleep. Who says that? Who said that? Just imagination. Okay. Being capped social media relevance. I know. Major timeline distortion, constant synchronicity, demystification. Do you think votes are real? Vote below. It's all an act. You are in a theater. There's concessions over here. There's games over here. There's a bathroom. There's some mirrors. Like, you know, just pile some animals in and throw some pillows, and who even cares it? That's it. Heaven for some. Personally, I don't like being entertained. I feel like it makes me weak and dumb. And my muscles and skin get spongy and disgusting. I feel anger when I think about it. Me being that. I go, I want to put my boots on. I want to feel like, because that's where the edge is. That's where perception's at. That's where the action is. If the action's, you know what I mean? It feels like health. I don't know. whatever it is, we seem to be preserved or stalled, as Quantum of Conscience will say. It's stalled century. I love that theme, or that idea. It's there. I mean, that nailed it. I don't know. Repeating themes. You cannot leave the dragon's wing, cake in a lake, fake or designed events leading to a government, then secret order, then secret supernatural order of priests, and then to build back better. Then what they worship, I don't really know, guys. Not sure. Bones and bones and bones on bones, arranged artistically. Pay attention, observe. Live my life. Advancing culture. Grow within. Ordinary conscience could not reach that far. Constant synchronicity, you say? Well, I guess you're right. On time. I have thought of so many things and heard so much in the past few hours I don't even know right now. Every time my view of environment changes, I find myself. I go, oh, if this is like that, then maybe I'm like this, and not like I had thought. Everything I once knew is over now. I was fooled. Now what? Everything I ever knew, except the things I always know, is over. Aha. And I'm quite alive and better than ever. Started again. Except where I find myself is unknowable territory, and yet it's all just a perspective, isn't it? What happens when everything you ever wanted to know adds up to something you really don't want to accept? That means it's probably true. Historically, over time, abilities are lost as a collective, but maybe it comes and goes in cycles and or waves, architecturally, technologically, and mental, spiritual faculties. I made up that I was rich a few months ago and said that on social media. Nobody messaged me. Nobody besides my friend Harley even tried to ask me. I dropped it. A month later, people, because I had said traveling through things, I'm this and that, I'm traveling and this, could you send me? And I was like, what happens if I just say, I'm fucking rich, and just make it convincible for a second? I had an opportunity where that was easy. And I was like, alright, what happens now? What's the response on this end? Okay, a few people rudely asked me for money. If you're this, then you should do this for me now. Okay. Didn't ask how I did anything. Didn't even try to politely assert that what they wanted from me. They just demanded it and then threatened me with using myself against myself. They're like, if you're this, then you gotta do this. That's your beliefs, dude. Personally, I don't even know you. Clearly, if I did, I wouldn't fuck with you because you're like this. Okay. This month, a few more people asked me, and I was just like, I didn't respond. I actually just immediately blocked them because I wasn't in the mood to even, like, are you shitting me? Yeah. So in reality, I washed my laundry in the sink for 2.5 hours and then hung them piece by piece by the heater on the floor. I ate a pack of soy ramen noodles and drink water from the sink. This is a little example of experiments that I do. I'm not bitching or complaining, but these are the way the events played out. I have 2 more packs of soy ramen that I just bought yesterday. I'm being vegan right now until I have a more complete data set to elude me further into dietary needs, which also comes pretty much from intuitive knowledge or wisdom or data, whatever we're calling that. Knowing. Everybody wants to know, where'd you know it from? What's your bibliography on your intuition, please? What part of your body told you to think that? Where'd the feeling come from in your body? Was it your foot or your shoulder? And from this, we can see that people buy attention. And from this, we can see that people pay attention, but they won't let you know. Okay. And from this, we can see that people pay attention, but they won't let you know or show any sign. But they will just believe anything if it plays into their fears or chances for further exploitation, which they think is called pleasure seeking and enjoying life. Exploitation. They see, through exploitation, there's no give and take. It's just get and receive and pay for. And it's not exactly your fault that you feel that way, because we're in a service economy that's not designed to be sustained for this long, and that's why sustainability comes into play, because it's an important factor in a service company that is sustained, or else we're just talking about the same thing we talk about every day. Corporate cash out. I was gonna say collapse, but corporate cash out. It sounds much better and it's more true. Playing into their fears, and they can't help it, or if they think they can use the information as they come up, they do it naturally. They are scavengers. They live on a bottom level looking up. They say sorry a lot and want to be seen doing good things, but they are like crab. They scuttle around sneaky, remembering details just to seize an opportunity to reach out and powerfully grab something and take it for themselves. Make it theirs. That's your truth. Speak your truth, brother. I didn't know that there was truths you could just have and take to your own corner. I thought that's what they were doing. They, them. I thought that's what they were doing. I thought that's how they had all the power. Is that this more emulation of psychopaths by just having your truth, brother? Because, like, don't we get to have anything? Everybody's gonna scuttle off in a little corner with it and think that they're serving the world. That's why you have to share. That's why we care. Take it for themselves and make it theirs. But that is their mind and the way they view themselves. They think that everything they know is all you could ever know. They think that everything they know is everything you could ever know. When they don't understand something, they would say that doesn't make sense. If you tell them something that you know, they say that doesn't make sense. It must be wrong. It can't be possible. They will Google it on their phone, the smarter ones, and select the first answer handed to them is an explanation given by experts. And say, here, see, it's this, solved, moving on, done. That's old information, never to be looked through again. What's next? I'm anxiously waiting for what's next. That's not a process of gnosis of information at all, just putting that on as an extra point. Yet, right there, that is a subject of technocracy. Salafism, doomed. So what? What if it is? What you gonna do? What do you mean? Don't let the humor disturb the message. It's not about me, it's about the concepts being expressed and presented. My manager wants me to make sure that's... The format of the presentation helps me in so many ways just to express. Plus, I'm moving things from once they came here and now. Just wow. Do you think if you learn enough, you will find yourself true and just know that fact? Yes. Learning is many things. Maybe I'll learn so much that I can see everything clearly for true. And what when that shakes the foundation of your everything? What if you are so alone in that knowledge? I'll lean further into it because I have a sure sign it's working. I'll get even better. Everything comes around. Not sure. These notes are not introductory, and we're not accepting anything, so I don't care what you think. But I hope you enjoy. I know it's not designed in a fashion of the sort. My manager. Birds chirping, aware of the restlessness, winter angst. A chuckle to myself. Knowing what you want, that's step one, they say. Within mind, mindfulness, consciousness, awareness, attention, played. With mindfulness, within mind, consciousness, awareness. Where do thoughts broadcast from? Where is anywhere? Where do thoughts and ideas come from? Who am I? How do I? I have such a desire for knowledge, and I know how to assess value. As I sort through all the things, I sort through myself. I remove all clutter from myself and my environment. As myself and environment reflect the mood of my soul. I'm not an entertainer or teacher. I am not an entertainer or a teacher. I'm not a student. I'm not a product for display and public consumption. The city is designed in a way to control your mind, what's available and what's not. What you think you want, what you think you need, all provided to you, presented. And leading to lack of opportunity. 10 points, 22 paths. Whatever do I mean? All you gotta do is pay attention to what you do. Eye of the void, all. The Ein. All-seeing eye, Kether. Well then, come Atlas made its Apollo 13 spin back around the sun. It's coming back to chill with us. Great. I'm like, okay, lucky me. Airships. We're done with Air Force. Even through NASA owns all the helium. Examining every interaction. Charles Fort, John Keel. Charles Fort, John Keel. Authors. Really, really good stuff. Every AI image I look at is pointless. It's only there to entertain me or present a prefabricated idea. I understand the conveyance of conceptual idealism, but at this point, it's so ridiculous, psychedelic pictorial vomit, that I prefer to go back, if I may be so bold to say, to people producing art. Because when art has value, it is ceased to perform its functional purpose as art. More yet, where is this image composed and rendered as a birthday cake made it by a family? Okay. Where is this image composed and rendered? A birthday cake made by a family, baked at home, is different than a cake that was made from powders mixed by electric impulses and timing sequences. The power of electric did it, the unknown force. To disagree would mean that you say, what's on the inside doesn't matter. That's what I'm getting at. The birthday cake made by a family is something people gather around to celebrate a moment that has meaning. Wherever the things that AI produces for us to ingest and observe, produced where? By who? And what do they get out of it? Because there's money involved. You say what's on the inside doesn't matter. As long as it looks good, as long as I can be fooled, you'll learn to love it. We will teach you to think whatever we want is beautiful. Just look at rap music and its resulting gray state culture. We can make you think whatever we want you to think is beautiful. Just look at rap music and its resulting gray state culture. Gray state culture also means emotionally gray or bipolar extreme, alternating between poles so fast it doesn't really matter what your opinion is because it's in the gray state zone of erratic, dysfunctional, chaotic, non-fruitful, rotted, sick production of self-defeating, pointless, tire-burning rubber action. Which seems to be pretty flashy, apparently, and it's extremely dull, shallow, soulless way. Because butts be looking good in gray sweats, I guess. I don't know. I don't see the difference, personally. I don't have a color I like to look at. Ass isn't the best. I would like to believe that it's about the ass underneath the pants that matters the most. And the skin color doesn't have much to do with the shape of the ass. To my observations. I've seen many of an ass. Of all shapes, and yeah. Thanks for that moment. Thanks for that for a second. Thank you. You're welcome. Gray state culture equals dead inside. Gave up, defeated, and waiting for further instructions. I'd like to mention Iowa one time. Things an Archon would do for thousands. Inherit, found, salvage, repurpose, deceive. Thinking of the process of fruit growing on a tree and being squeezed. As the creative trends of culture flourish and subside. Here's a question somebody asked one time. Can we build a George Washington apotheosis for the back of my eyelids? And if we can we eventually get that changed into me? Up there? On the big stage. George Washington apotheosis. But then I was thinking maybe can somebody build like a cement stage for the Master Archon not know the they them? Then I thought of the Lincoln Memorial and I thought, damn, they already did that. This like what? I don't know. This always needs to be revisited, the epic proportions of the presentation. What does it mean? These Gatling guns, these fascies, these metal pipes. What are you doing? Put your hands on that for Lincoln. Boom, boom. Now I heard another interesting tale that would lead us to see that Mr. Lincoln had stolen a train from the Confederates and was chased across the country with it as a giant publicity stunt. That could just be made up. But it really might not be. Dang old history. Keeps getting all crazy. Changing around and being reinvented and perceived as F. That old history. And old Abe. The George Washington and the Abe Lincoln, the most ridiculous concepts ever. Probably much more ridiculous than Napoleon or most of the other things, because it's just so right now, and there is this, yeah, it's just, and people still this, and of course all they remember is wooden teeth. Wooden teeth, toilet paper, and TikTok. Don't know what that means, but it's very important, apparently. Seriously important. To the non-playable character. What does it do to the minds of men to look into the imagination of the AI? Point Break parasites. Point Break Climate change is more like aggression on poverty. Civil order in the private sector. ASCII coding. Comprehensive table. For a good time, text 833-991-3448. Culture is mandated from the top down. We are fed bytes and bits of data incomplete. But why? Just wait, there's more. So we can never get a sense of ourselves. Really gotta just be a crazy person to get a sense of yourself at this point, I'd say, right? Or something. A real pigeon, whisperer. A cultural war. The information they gave us, the internet, and they already own the whole damn internet. And every bit of information decimated from the top down. Everyone must be divided in every way. Scientific indoctrination implements of agenda disrupt to society and no one will care. Science is religion. With the technology you can't believe your own eyes. Okay, thanks, bye. How do I stop this? We're done here.